Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio. And now, here's our host, Dr. Vanessa Anceloni.
Welcome, dear listener, to Kardec Radio. We are here today to talk about Spiritist Resources. We're celebrating Kardec's month. October is his month since he was born in October. Kardec's month is October, and we are here to share the best of Spiritism for you. And today, it's all about the Spiritist Resources. Questions: where can you find Spiritist Resources for you if you are a sympathizer of Spiritism? You want to know a little bit more about it, or if you are a beginner, are there resources out there for you? And if you want more advanced studies, can you find more advanced resources for you to study? Oh, yes, you can. And I would like to share with you that we have brought here to Kardec Radio Studios in Chantilly, Virginia, Kirsten DeMello and Daniel Santos, collaborators of Kardec Radio and long-standing friends who are here to share the resources that are available for anyone, and the best of all, free of charges. Everything we do in Spiritism. It's a delight. It's a great joy. Before we start the program, we're going to kickstart setting the tone with the message So, which is in the CD Enlightening Messages and also book published by the Spiritist Society of Baltimore. You can get a hold of it. You can buy it at www.ssbaltimore.org. And after the break, Kirsten DeMello and Daniel Santos will be here with us to share with you the much that exists already out there. And I tell you, you'll be fascinated. There is no excuse any longer for you not to know the benefits and also the great news and the joy of Spiritism. After the message and the break.
So. Each heart is like a parcel of spiritual land. Many will be buried by the stones of prejudice at the side of others who got entangled by the thorns of illusion, needing enormous time to break free. However, think about the good land not in use. This is where elements that generate inertia are found. Abandoned lands, orphaned lands, creatures who are anxious for the fertilizer of faith, souls who beg for a modest garden of hope and comfort. These troubled, forgotten lands will often look for you. Your vision will open up through the fatigue of the parents where pain manifests, tortures, and consumes, through the disillusionment of your sad fellows who carry in their hearts the ashes of their own dreams, through the problems of the child who is consumed by revolt, through the trials of your brothers and sisters who cry smiling so that you may not see the debris of their resentment. If you can already hear the sublime sower proclaiming, So, you know that charity is the sun that sweeps the shadows. You bring within you the gift to sprinkle comfort. You can pronounce the blessed word. You can pour what is left from the purse, transforming the coin in a prayer of joy. You have the strong arm which lifts up the fallen. Your fingers are capable of mending the strings broken by suffering in others' hearts, attuning them to the sound of the fraternal music. You have the privilege of sharing clothes you no longer need with those less fortunate. Nothing hinders you from helping the sick. Nobody prevents you from building in the road the good for those who are here and for those who are to come. Do not deter yourself in the emptiness of the shadows. Plant truth and light, joy and goodness. If you perceive the voice of the sublime sower, you will hear him at each step of the way, confidently saying closer to your ears, work while you can, and so.
We will return to our program after these messages.
Books of Andre Luis. Through the hands of the most prolific medium of all times, Chico Javier, the spirit doctor Andre Luis wrote a series of books that unveil the mechanisms of life and life after life. From the best-selling novel No Solar, Our Home, to And Life Goes On, the reader will find illumination for a fulfilled life on Earth as well as immortal happiness. Check the many titles available at the international distributor, EDI CEI of America. Their website is www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Spiritist Network, your gateway to on-demand Spiritist videos. www.spiritistnetwork.com.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio. Traveling to another country? Immigrating elsewhere? Prepare yourself by reading the book Among Brothers of Other Lands, in which several loving and wise spirits wrote through the hands of Chico Xavier and Waldo Vieira, telling all of us the tips and hints of a successful transition to a new land. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Do you want Spiritist books for your children? At Edicei of America, you'll find a collection of them, from the best-selling book Our Father, in which the Spirit Mei Mei, through Chico Xavier, brought countless poems, stories, and folk tales based on the Lord's Prayer, to the beautiful and educational collection by the author Edailson Salles on Back to School and many others. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
And now we return to our program.
So welcome, dear listener, to Kardec Radio. We are here directly from Chantilly, Virginia, the headquarters of Kardec Radio, talking about Spiritist Resources. We need Spiritist Resources because we want to know more about Spiritism. And we have here with us to help us find out about the lots of resources we have on Spiritism in the English language, our friends and great collaborators at Kardec Radio, Kirsten DeMello and Daniel Santos. So thank you so much, Kirsten and Daniel, for being with us here today.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. It really is an honor.
Thank you, Vanessa.
So, dear friends, as you know, when we talk about Spiritism and Spiritist Resources, Kardec himself in the Spirit's book, he talks about, in the very introduction of the book, the importance of being very diligent regarding the study of the terms, of the concepts, and he even mentions about the definition of Spiritism. So before we talk about resources, we'd like to revisit when he mentions that Spiritism is based on the relationship between the material world and the invisible world, the latter being inhabited by beings known as spirits, and those who follow Spiritism will be called Spiritists. So irrespective of the further denominations, we're talking about why we want to get more resources. So here we are for people who are either beginners or who want to deepen their knowledge in Spiritism. We can tell them that we have local virtual resources as well. So do you, Daniel and Kirsten, agree that nowadays if people say, oh, I'm not a Spiritist, or I don't follow through because I don't find resources, would you say it justifies?
Well, Vanessa, if this question was made 10 years ago, we say that it's going to be complicated to answer. But today, 2013, with Google and the Internet more advanced than ever, we have no excuse. I mean, we have already a lot of resources out there. And if you are able to use a smartphone, your iPad, your tablet, even the Internet, so you will find very easy just by typing Spiritism in the U.S. You're going to find a amount of websites, and we can, of course, go ahead and mention, like nowadays we have SpiritistNetwork.com, we have Spiritist Video, we have Kardec Radio here, and other websites that has information about Spiritism. ExploreSpiritism.com is a great website that gives a lot of detail about Spiritism available in English.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that I would have to concur with you, Dana. There's a plethora, a sea of options for people to really look at and to dive into. We also, within the e-Spiritism alone, for people who are perhaps live in a state that has a Spiritist center, they can go to e-Spiritism and do a whole program based on the basics of Spiritism. So really nowadays there's really not much of an excuse, even especially for those who are English speakers, because you can become in contact with people who are either have study groups in the area or neighboring cities. Really there's no real excuse anymore.
And also, I would like to add on this that also the high-speed internet that we have nowadays, stream videos became pretty easy. So good quality of videos we can find out there, especially if you go to YouTube. I mean, we ourselves, we coordinate the Spiritist Network, and we have the Spiritist Network YouTube channel that we post not only our talks here in Baltimore, Virginia, but from all the events that we participate. So we have the permission to make available those material online, so you can go later and watch those great talks that a lot of friends here in the U.S. have been collaborating and helping the dissemination. So even if you don't have a spirit center, physically speaking, in your area, you can even go and put apps in your iPhone, your tablet, and in your computer and watch those videos, even listening Kardec Radio. That is a great resource every week with new shows, live shows. And so we pretty much have a lot. 10 years ago, we remember, we didn't have much in English. This resource, was almost none. We have fewer websites, but not much material available. So
exactly.
Nowadays we have plenty.
Exactly, Daniel and Kirsten. Now, if people are in a location where there is a Spiritist Center, why would you recommend as the Spiritist Center being the first Spiritist resource for them? What is the importance of a Spiritist Center for them?
For that question, we feel the necessity to go right to the Spirit book and Kardec and the Wise Spirit suggestions to us. In the Law of Progress, we see that the march of progress needs to be, and also in the Law of Society in the Spiritual Part 3, we need to be amongst others. Kardec is very specific in the Law of Society, the first subdivision. He says that not one person has all the perfected aspects that we need. So we must be and live amongst one another. And why not at a Spiritist Center where it's organized, people are together, and their main purpose is to spread this enlightening messages so we can learn from one another.
What would you say to those who claim that, I can do it all by myself, reading the books at home and doing it my own way, because sometimes they don't find concordance with the groups that they visit? Is there a problem in that type of statement?
Well, I agree with what Keith said, and very well based on Kardec explanation from the spirits. But you can study by yourself. It is not wrong. But I would say personally that would be like half of the healing. The question here is why you need to have a physical place that you need to go to receive treatment. And the following question is why do we need to go? So I think the answer for this question, why we go to the Spirit Center, majority of us that go to Spirit Center, we need healing. Either could be physical healing, could be psychological healing, could be emotional healing. Because those that doesn't look for hospital is because they're not sick. So we need to go to the Spirit Center to improve ourselves, emotionally speaking, even like in the knowledge field. Sometimes we wanted to know more. And so we need one another to receive this exchange of energy, also to receive the spirit, spiritual fluids that the spirits bring to us by using those that work in the spirit center.
This makes me remind of when Jesus said, "Where two or more gather in my name, there I'll be." Some people think the focus of his statement is on him, but actually it's on the mechanism of it.
Yes.
Which is what you and Kirsten are saying. The power of this collective effort really shifts things around. Historically speaking, Allan Kardec himself, everything began in 1857 with a book. But the year after, he felt that without having a group meeting, a society to cherish this and to deepen it, he wouldn't go that far. So clearly, for those who know the human mind, like Jesus and Kardec and many others, we need that collective effort to really exchange, grow, and we can tell that our physiology is prone to learning more with one another through the mirror neurons, etc. We learn faster, we expedite our progress.
Yeah, you are not created to live by yourself. We need to live in society, and this is one of the law, the natural law, the divine law that compel us to live one another, and also is the only way that we can measure how much advanced we are, because through the relationship that we have, not only in the spirit center, in family and society, we can put in practice all those virtues that we learn, theoretically speaking. So how can we be able to measure if we are progressing or not, if we don't live with one another? Even the dramas that we have in our family, in our spirit center, is a thermometer for us to measure how much we have been incorporate this knowledge that the spirits bring to us. That's the proposal. Jesus, when he was among us, he didn't stay inside of the temples. He went and meet the people. He always among the people, consoling them, healing them, and bring the teaching. So that's why we need to do this movement to leave our own center in the meaning like our place, our house, and go and meet others that is not relate specifically with our family, but our friends in ideal.
That's great. So we're going to give a short break, but when we come back, we want to tell them about the resources that are available for those who want to study Spiritism. What are the specific resources after the break?
We will return to our program after these messages.
New release, Liberation. In this compelling narrative, Andre Luiz emphasizes the work of high-order spirits in the effort to convert the spirit Gregorio to the good, an effort that culminates with the unforgettable re-encounter with his mother, herself a highly evolved spirit, wherein he surrenders to the irresistible call of love. The book also contains information on how unhappy spirits act as they try to involve incarnates in their wiles. The spirit author tells of the intercession of high-order spirits on behalf of human beings, demonstrating the divine compassion that grants to all the blessed opportunity to free themselves by means of study, labor, and persevering service in the practice of the good. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Want Spiritist books for your children? At Edicei of America, you will find a collection of them. From the best-selling book, Our Father, in which the spirit Mei Mei through Chico Xavier brought countless poems, stories, and folk tales based on the Lord's Prayer, to the beautiful and educational collection by the author Adelison Sales on Back to School and many others. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
If you missed out on previous shows, no worries. We have an on-demand sections of all previous shows and interviews. Go to our website, www.kardecradio.com.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
Spiritism for Everyone, the online study of Spiritism. This year with the in-depth study of the book Genesis by Allan Kardec. Join us every Wednesday evening through the web from any computer or mobile device, no matter where you are in the U.S. or the world. Spiritism for Everyone is free, open to all, and requires no registration. For more information, go to www.spiritist.us. Spiritism for Everyone is a program of the United States Spiritist Council.
And now we return to our program.
So, dear listener, we are here talking about Spiritist Resources for you, for everyone who wants to learn more about the Spiritist teachings. Of course, there are many resources, and as Daniel Santos said in the first part of this program, 10 years ago, we probably didn't have like a tenth of it, and now we have lots of resources. It's unbelievable, and thanks to the internet, you can access it wherever you are. So you'll be amazed at the end of this program how much is out there and how much you can go for in order to learn more about Spiritism. We would say, as we are discussing here off air with Kirsten de Mello, Carlos Diaz, and Daniel Santos, about the, let's say, 3 categories of people who usually come after Spiritism. Those who are sympathizers, who want to know about Spiritism because somebody in their family or their lives in general are participating. They want to know more. They heard about it. They just want to browse through that quickly. Others who are beginners and they want to really start learning about it. And those who already know about Spiritism but they want to deepen their studies, more advanced level. Question, Kirsten and Daniel, would you say we have resources for these 3 groups of people?
Absolutely, we do. We have a variety of different resources that are available for people, especially if they're looking for Spiritism for the first time and want to know where can they go. Probably we could say, aside from directing them to a Spiritist center, if they also want to continue at home studying, we have the Roadmap program, right?
Yes, the Roadmap program that, in fact, if you go online, you're going to just find in the espiritism.org. We have the Spiritism 101 that basically is that we recommend for beginners that wanted to study and to test their knowledge. So the student would be able to basically watch PowerPoints and watch videos that is available over there, and then test their knowledge by doing the quiz.
It's a very didactic way, we would say, because it's organized so well. For those of you who have ever had the experience of doing an online class, we would say it's similar to that, except it's free. So you go online, you have to perform certain tasks and homework and readings that you have to do, and you participate also in a forum. So it's actually pretty interactive in us. It's really great because it's not like an online class you take and you're just talking to yourself, but there's forums. You get to interact with other like-minded people who are seeking similar things, wanting to know more about spirituality, the afterlife, communication of spirits, basically everything that encompasses what Spiritism is. It's a very organized and didactic way for anybody, and really you don't have to have had a certain background. That's the beauty of it. It's not like it's just for people who have college or have taken, college courses here in the U.S. Anybody and anyone can definitely use it.
Yeah, the only thing that I add on this case is that if you are the first time you access the website, you will need to create an account. Once you have an account, you're going to be able to enroll in the first course that is the Spiritism 101. And from that point, it's pretty much, easy to follow the lessons. You need to be very disciplined, because in order to do the 10 lessons, you need to start with the first one, and then the second one will be unlocked after you finish the first one, so go on.
And that requires a facilitator. These are for those who are studying online. Of course, with that question came to another question, like if people want to start a group, because then the roadmap program is the opportunity for those who want to start a group, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Spiritism is not only a religion, is also a science, and in order to move on to understand about life in general, we need to study, and that's why Spiritism started with books. The Spirit's book was the first one that was published by Kardec after his research. But we need to sit and we need to study those books. And nowadays we have a lot of books, not only the books from the codification, but also the André Louis series and the other books that we can take advantage. So if you wanted to start a group, you need to organize yourself, put a program together.
So since Daniel and Kirsten, you're talking about these resources for beginners, it comes to mind like people who probably want to start their groups, wherever they are. And as you're talking about the Spiritism that was like inspired in the Roadmap program, just want to share with the people that the Roadmap program was created by the guidance of the mentor, especially Mentor Joseph, when we were at the Spiritist side of Baltimore. And remember that the mentor wanted to create a material that was not only for us to study the teachings, but also to facilitate the creation of a teamwork mentality, also the spirit of service. So each and every lesson, as you see, if you go to the Spiritist side of Baltimore's website, you find on the right-hand corner of the website, the homepage, the link to Roadmap. And if you click there, you're going to have an idea about the different courses, from Spiritism 101 to the Spiritist Science to Advancements on Spiritism, the Spiritual Laws of the Spiritist Science, the Spiritist Practice 1 and 2, and then the whole third phase about mediumship and advancements from teachings to practice. These 9 modules, they help not only the person to learn about the teachings, but also to engage into the practice little by little. For example, the way the mentors created the program give us people opportunity from day one to learn how to read a message at the beginning of a meeting, learn how to pray, because often people want to learn about Spiritism, but they don't have an opportunity to practice collective prayer, and also how to serve the spiritually magnetized water at the end of the meeting, and the opportunity of doing the homeworks each and every week, coming back and having to speak about what you've studied as part of the whole curriculum makes people feel more confident about the teachings they have. They have more familiarity with the books because they have to acquire the books no matter what to become familiar with Kardec's books, André Louis, the manuals, etc. Also, to write about it, because often they have to write about it, and it's the opportunity for them to exercise it. So it's almost like a very complete way of training somebody not only about the teachings, but in the spirit of serving in Spiritism as well, which is the Spiritist practice. So we would recommend, if you want to start a group, go to this link at the Spirit side of Baltimore's website and get to know more about the resource. You can download for free.
Or
right,
you
Daniel?
can send your email to us,
Yeah.
ssb@ssbaltimore.org, so we can send to you the material.
Exactly. So now, if we go, like somebody wants to, they are sympathizing with Spiritism. What is like a resource you would tell? I know you could give them 100 tips, but one main tip, where should they begin if they want to get a clue about what Spiritism is all about?
Well, like you said, Vanessa, I think that there are definitely different things that they could go to. One thing that comes to mind is an actual experience we had recently with a young man who is what we would call a Spiritist sympathizer. And based upon our conversation with him, and that's what we would also mention to people, like do a sort of quasi-assessment to see how open they are. And we, based upon that, we were able to feel that, okay, he was open enough to maybe listen to some audios, but he wasn't that interested in reading, so we found it very good. We handed him a cardiac radio bookmark and a card we just happened to have. We say, look, take a listen to some of these shows. I think you'll like it. They have a different variety from different speakers that are non-spiritists, so it's not too much spiritism in your face, but at the same time, the bridge is still always there with every single show. The bridge between spiritism and modern-day belief systems that exist in science and different religions is there, so people are still getting spiritism, but from a very didactic, we'd say, perspective. I think that's one thing we could say. And also the Spiritist magazine, again, because sometimes people aren't quite ready to come to a Spiritist center, but to read something, they're okay with that. The Spiritist magazine is full of great articles of different subjects, and we can refer them to the website and say, look at the different topics, see which one stands out to you, and you can read that particular one. And what's great is that it's free. You can buy, you can purchase it for a very reasonable price, and you can share with others as well.
Exactly, and the website of the magazine is thespiritistmagazine.com. Now, what about people who are beginners? They're beyond being a sympathizer. They know they want to do it. What are the resources for them to begin?
I mean, like
becoming
if they cannot go to a spirit center, I mean, the idea is to recommend this person to find a spirit center and engage on the activity in the center. That would be my first, answer to them. I mean, looking, nowadays you can go just Google spirit center in the U.S. and you're gonna find a list of spirit centers. Well, yeah, anywhere in the country, in the planet.
Yeah.
If you don't find a spirit center in your area, I mean, again, we continue to say, I mean, like the internet is a great resource, and you may take advantage and watch videos. There is a lot of talks.
Where?
The Spirits Network, I mean, is the spiritsnetwork.com. We post a lot of videos, spiritist videos from different speakers across the country. Also, we have a YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and just type Spiritist Network over there. And if you access the channel, I mean, we have, being posted not only talks, but book club, like book study. And we have now, currently we have give some highlights of the book Action and Reaction. This is a book by Andrea Luiz, so it's just like a teaser, so you can go and have an idea. So, and the idea is you go and buy the book and study yourself, because it's very enlightened, the book. Not only Action Reaction, but I know that pretty soon you guys going to have a show only in the Spiritist book. So it's one of suggestions that we give. Buy the books and study.
That's good you're mentioning this, because in a week from today, we have a show about Spiritist books, the whole 9 yards of it, in which Marcelo Neto, the president of the Spiritist Federation of Florida, and his wife and companion, collaborator as well, Andrea Marshall, are going to be here with us. They are from EDC of America, the main publisher in Spiritist language around the world. They're going to be here with us talking about Spiritist books. Kirsten.
We also wanted to say how important it is for people who are beginners to definitely acquire the 5 main books. We would say they're in English: the Codification, the Spirits book, the Medium's book, the Genesis, Heaven and Hell, and Heaven and Hell, and the Gospel according to Spiritism. Because sometimes people, they like to get the novels and the other books, and that's wonderful, but we know it is also imperative, even if they don't read it all in, in 1 year, but to at least have it and to make it a goal to go through each book of the Codification, because it really is, especially starting out with the Spirits book, because it is the backbone. It is important. We always try to remind people of that, especially when they come to us and ask, well, which book should we get first? Well, if you're going to want to acquire some books, go with the first 5 of the Codification, and then we'd recommend the Andrea Luiz collection, of course, is wonderful. All the books that are psychographed by Chico Xavier, and also tons of other literature that exists out there that are really good or credible. Good.
We'll see next week more about the books. so you get a full extent about what Kirsten and Daniel are talking about. Now we're going to give a short break, so when we come back, the last part of our program is about what if you want to study deeper and immerse yourself in Spiritism, go to advanced levels. Do we have resources out there when we come back from the break?
We will return to our program after these messages. Want to learn more about the ins and outs of mediumship? The book In the Realms of Mediumship by the Spirit Dr. Andre Luis through the medium Chico Xavier analyzes the various aspects of mediumistic communication and mediumship. He also praises the efforts of mediums who are faithful to the spiritual mandate they received before they reincarnated, warning them about the risks of badly practiced exchanges between the two worlds. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
The Spiritist magazine is a trimestral, digital periodical that publishes the latest news on the Spiritist thought and the movement in the USA and worldwide at www.spiritistmagazine.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Study Spiritism online at eSpiritism. eSpiritism is an online tool to promote the study and practice of Spiritism while contributing to the preparation of Spiritist practitioners. For full access to courses, go to www.e-spiritism.org.
If you missed out on any previous shows, no worries. We have an on-demand section of all previous shows and interviews. Go to our website at www.kardecradio.com.
Emmanuel's Novels. The reputable mentor, Emmanuel, wrote a 5-book series of Spiritist novels that can truly transform your life. Starting with 2,000 years ago, Emmanuel delights our minds with the true account of characters that are so similar to each of us. Discover yourself in Emmanuel's novels and live better. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com. And now we return to our program.
Dear listener, we are back and we're talking about Spiritist Resources. And I hope, we all hope, that by now you were very hopeful. Probably you didn't expect to hear that we have those many resources, but we do, and we tell you we have many more to come. Right now we are back to the discussion on how these resources can attend to a public that wants to go deeper, immerse themselves in Spiritism, really understand about the Spiritist teachings. So before we get there, to give it like a nice introduction, Kirsten DeMel is going to read to us a passage that she selected from the Gospel According to Spiritism. This is chapter 11 of the Gospel According to Spiritism. Kirsten, please.
Sure. Now that the Spiritist movement has taken such a big step, you can see how quickly the ideas of justice and renewal contained in the Spirit's dictations are being accepted by the average intellectual world. This is because such ideas respond to everything divine within you. It is because you have been prepared by a fertile seed, that of the past century, which implanted within the society the great ideas of progress. Vanessa, we're just going to cut short the entire message. It's just a little excerpt from it that's very beautiful, and it's a message that was received from a spirit by the name of Sanson. He was a former member of the Parisian Spiritist Society, and this was delivered in 1863. So it's beautiful because we were just discussing here together off air that this message was brought in the 1860s, and yet there are still people today who we would say kindly and respectfully are ignorant of this fact, and they think that, and maybe perhaps in some way they're correct because they say, well, Spiritism is not widespread, but the ideas and the thought processes and the mechanisms of which Spiritism upholds to and really participates in, it exists throughout the world of people of all different types of religions. And when he talks about that, since the past century, this fertile seed has been implanted, they're talking about the great minds, the great philosophers like Socrates and Plato had implanted this already within society. So people already have this notion, however strong or not so strong. So we say that these universal ideas are everywhere. So we feel that people are ready, and we also have so many resources that are able to help nourish these divine seed within us all, right?
That's beautiful, and that's precisely what it is. And that's why deepening the study, people will find, as Kirsten did, passages such as this that will give us a greater understanding about the extent of the Spiritist. By the way, as you're listening to us right now, there is a beautiful article that was just released in the October to December issue of the Spiritist magazine that was written by a philosopher from beyond at Kardec's time and was published titled The Future of Spiritism. That would go hand in hand with what Kirsten read to us and explain a little bit further. It's very enlightening, and we would suggest to you to read for free. Can you believe this? All these resources are free of charge, as Kirsten said, which is so unique in the Spiritist movement, thespiritistmagazine.com. What are other resources that we can have for those mostly virtual resources we're saying? Because as Daniel said, like we always should find a Spiritist center, a group, etc. But for those who are online, we have also resources to deepen the studies of Spiritism and immerse ourselves, right, Dana?
Yes, among all those videos that we have available, of course, we have videos that is very basic, bring the teaching in a very basic explanation, but also we have talks that is very profound, is very advanced, and require that the person that watches the video, the lecture, go and, need to go and study to understand a lot of the information that the speakers brings to us. We also have something that we forgot to mention in the YouTube channel of the Spirit Society of Baltimore. We have a series of 20 videos that talks about the book. Paul and Stephen is giving highlight about the book is very, very important for us that work in Spiritism and wanted to go to this road of Spiritism, is look back and see how those people that embraced the Jesus message did. And Paul Steve is a great manual for us and for those that want to really to move on in their life despite of all the obstacles that, all the problems, how they overcome this problem. So we recommend that they listen, also go and watch those videos to have a idea how to understand the Jesus message through the spirits. Also, for those that wanted to listen, we have the podspiritism.org, that is audios that is available. We have Kardec radio shows available over there, Spiritist message, we have Spiritist moment, and lectures in general that you can listen using your iPhone, tablet, a computer. So we have a lot of resource out of that someone can go and take advantage of those material, Vanessa.
Yes, and as you're saying, it reminds if people want more, there is like a broad website, Explore Spiritism, that really gives us more resources if people want to know more.
It's a great website that is coordinated by our friend Heather Fonseca and Daniel Fonseca in Florida. And basically they have, it's very easy, they have all the explanation about what it is Spiritist, the activities that, the main activity that Spiritist Center has, and that is explained by the website, and it's a great website, and we recommend also that you can go and take advantage of the material that they post over there.
Wonderful.
You know, Vanessa, as we're sitting here discussing this, it comes to our mind that sometimes we don't want to give the wrong impression for people to think that they can go to these resources and find everything right there, that everything's going to pop up, that they don't have to do any legwork on their own. And just reminds us, as we're thinking of that, we see how great the spirits are because we happen to open up to a passage, and it's on page 453 in the most recent translation of the Gospel According to Spiritism, when Kardec brings this excerpt from the Medium's book, part 2, and he says that, when we go in search of Spiritism, we cannot forget that we also need to do our legwork. And he says specifically this: no, spirits do not come to exempt humans from the law of labor, but to show them the objective they must reach and the way that will lead them to it, saying to them, press on and you shall arrive. You will find stones under your feet. Look and remove them yourself. We will give you the strength you need if you wish to use it. So it's beautiful because oftentimes people have this false idea, this fallacy that, once I enter into Spiritism or spiritual path, all my problems go away. It's quite the contrary. We begin to truly see ourselves as we really are, the immortal sons and daughters of God, but yet we still have a lot of stones in our pathway that we must make that effort to go ahead and remove. So it's a journey that we are beginning to embark upon, but be prepared that there's good work ahead for us to do. We don't want to say work in a negative sense, but there's work to be done. There's studying to be done, not just by attending the Spiritist Center. Vanessa, something you had said earlier today that was very poignant, very important, because, we have to be willing to dedicate ourselves to our own spiritual walk, to attend the center, to offer the spirit of service, to be willing to help with one another. It's important as well because people think, I'm going to go there and get everything I need and somebody's going to give it to me on a silver platter, when in fact it's quite the opposite, that we need to be willing to give as well and to put the effort out. Right?
Exactly. That's a beautiful comment, Kirsten. Also, for those who want to study more about Spiritism, Daniel, would you have also a final comment for us at Kardec Radio or a tip for us at Kardec Radio today?
As we mentioned, in the beginning, I think we don't have any excuse nowadays to say, I don't know how to study or there is no material available. Yes, we do have material available. Of course, we need to create more programs, study more the culture to know how we can deliver this message in more culturally speaking way. Depends of the place we are. We are talking mostly about the U.S., the United States of America, but since this program, the Kardec Rays, go to all the country, so for those that already know Spiritism and wanted to disseminate the message in the place that they are living, so study the culture, try to understand the people come from and how to utilize the teaching in a way that can be more effective in its dissemination. Emmanuel says that the best charity that we can do to Spiritism is to spread the message itself. Just Google and we find all this material online, videos, audios that is available for free.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Daniel, as you mentioned, what Manuel said, it also comes to our mind that really the best, we would say, way to spread Spiritism, or the best propagator, or the best way to really show someone Spiritism, aside from these wonderful and amazing resources that are in English, but it is to be its own, to really manifest it in your behavior. You are its best propagator. You are its best way of spreading it, because people will be amazed if you change yourself, or if you are a different kind of person. They say, why is he or she like that? She seems so different. She seems open or happy. We can be this advertisement. That's what I was looking for. We can be the best advertisement for Spiritism by being that change, by living it. I think it was Emmanuel who told Chico to don't just read and study the gospel, but be the book, be the gospel. And probably we could say that is what brought a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people, to Spiritism in Brazil, we would say, and perhaps
partially in the U.S., is that the essence of someone like Chico Xavier, the love, the humility, the kindness, he was the embodiment of a lot of the ideals we hold to. And also because we wish to be like that. It's something beautiful and it's tangible. Because sometimes people are unable to even imagine in their mind what Christ might be like. But if you have someone close to you in your workplace or you meet on the street who treats you kindly, that can be a life-changing experience. And we've heard stories like that. So we would say, be that change. As Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. That's the best advertisement. That's the best resource we can provide for people in the country, in the state, the city that we live in, right?
That's wonderful, Daniel and Kirsten. And that's why Mentor Joseph brought this message about coherence. Because when we strive to learn about Spiritism, it's about this inner. And that's what Kardec mentions in the future of Spiritism in the article in the magazine, that the future is about this inner transformation that inevitably is going to inspire others. So we would like to thank you, Daniel and Kirsten, for being with us always at Kardec Radio, and especially today, giving us more tips and hints about the many resources that are out there. And this is just the beginning, because we just wonder what lies ahead, for us regarding the many more resources that shall be available. So smile, dear listener, because there is a lot more for us to do. We're going to give a last break. When we come back, we are going to wrap it up with our final prayer.
We will return to our program after these messages.
Getting to the Light, Spiritist Therapy for Discarnate Spirits is a small book that offers guidance to Spiritist practitioners and Spiritist counselors. Purchase your copy at www.ssbaltimore.org.
Nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
If you missed out on any previous shows, no worries. We have an on-demand section of all previous shows and interviews. Go to our website at www.kardecradio.com.
Spread the word. Kardec Radio, to learn more about Spiritism.
Help prevent suicide by reading and sharing these books with others. 2 great books are available to help in this Kardec Radio campaign to prevent suicide. Suicide, All You Need to Know, by the international Spiritist speaker Richard Simonetti. You can buy your copy at www.roundtablepublishing-uk.com. Also, Memoirs of a Suicide by the medium Yvonne Pereda. Buy your copy today at www.ediceiofamerica.com.
Kardec Radio, live every Saturday at 11 a.m.
Kardec Radio now offers more programs during the week and weekends. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can follow the beautiful program God at Home with Francisca Kranz and the British Spiritist community. They will brighten your days by doing a God at Home meeting wherever you are in the world, while teaching you how to do the same in your own home with your family and friends. Every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will hear incredibly inspirational Spiritist talks directly broadcasted by Spiritist Network. They will be true educational moments to carry out to immortality. Every Saturday, live interviews, Bridging Health and Spiritism with the host Dr. Vanessa Anceloni. You may ask questions to the interviewed guests by calling 858-769-4705. And every Sunday, tune in to Spiritist Awareness at Kardec Radio. You will hear a series of segments on a diversity of Spiritist topics. Kardec will broadcast the Spiritist Moment with Kirsten DeMello, the reading of the Spiritist book by John DeRosa and Steve Shepard, Spiritism in Your Life with Drs. Marco and Joyce Magalhães, Spiritism and the Gospel with Luiz Sérgio Marotta, Spiritist Education for Youth and Children with Bernadette Leal, Spiritist Music with James Marotta, Neuroscience and Spiritism with Dr. Vanessa Anceloni, and many more segments coming soon. Enjoy it all and nourish your soul with Kardec Radio.
And now we return to our program.
We hope, dear listener, that you have enjoyed the program today. It's a program that brings a lot of hope. Hope for you wherever you are in the many countries that listen to Kardec Radio. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, please write to us at kardecradio.com. We have a contact form online. If you submit it to us, we'll be happy to assist you and also to consider your recommendations and suggestions. Right now, we'd like to invite you for that special moment that we finish every Kardec Radio program on Saturdays, which is our prayer. Let us pray then. Let us pray specifically today for all those who are working on the Spiritist harvest, those who are preparing materials in the many languages, those who are preparing the resources that shall be available in both realms of life to assist and help people find the consolation to their hearts and minds. Let us raise our thoughts right now and be grateful, dear Lord. We are truly grateful for life. You have given us discernment, courage, intelligence, health, and so many other resources. May all of us who are in the Spiritist harvest around the world feel the blessings of yours, the encouragement, so we can all keep on walking steadily irrespective of the obstacles, creating materials, resources, sharing them, creating possibilities of fraternity, solidarity around the world. May the resources that shall be created under the inspiration of your messengers be available to everyone, and thus console the hearts and the minds of those who are suffering from physical ailments, suffering from emotional disturbances, and also spiritual difficulties. And may Spiritism spread its light throughout the earth, illuminating each and every nation, wherever it is. So be it. Dear listener, in a week from today, we have another program that is going to deepen the understanding of one of the main resources we have available. Books, Spiritist books. Without Spiritist books, we cannot study Spiritism at all. And to talk about it, we are going to bring to you firsthand Marcelo Nero and his wife, Andrea Marchonero, who will be here with us at Kardec Radio talking about Spiritist books. And there is nobody better than them to talk about it because they are actually the ones coordinating the efforts of the publisher of the International Spiritist Council in America, EDISA of America. You hear all the time we talk about the books published by EDISA of America, and they're going to be here with us telling you the much that already exists and is available to you in the English language. Dear listener, for now, we wish you lots of blessings, and let us never forget, enjoy your life feeling the blessings of God.
Thank you for listening to Kardec Radio, broadcasting live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Email us and share your comments at www.kardecradio.com. Until next time, we wish you many blessings.